This story was brought to our attention by friends out there in Woodstock and scenic McHenry County. Renee Mastny took to Facebook to describe a situation with her son Jimmy, who's a freshman at Marion Central Catholic in Woodstock. He's a high school wrestler who began wrestling at 8 years old. He was homeschooled prior to attending high school.
Okay.
That was a choice the family made, not for athletics, but for the best interests of our child, writes Mom on Facebook. After a lot of consideration, she goes on to say, our family made the decision to send Jimmy to Marion Central rather than homeschool. It was a difficult decision, but we wanted our son to receive a structured Catholic school education, and we felt it was in his best interests. Enrolling him in Marion Central required our family to make significant sacrifices, but in the end, we did what we felt was best for our son, and we accepted the hardships that came along with the decision. We'll delve into those when she joins us. Anyway, so he's at Marion Central, and there's some anonymous allegations that are being bandied about that are unclear to me, but it sounds like allegations of improper recruiting. I don't know. I'm trying to read between the lines.
No, that happens all the time at CPS.
It happens all the time in
Everywhere.
Catholic schools and public schools and everywhere, of course. I mean, this is, but anyway, anonymous allegations were made to IHSA about the Marion Central Wrestling Program, targeting 3 wrestlers that had transferred to the school during the off season, and Jimmy somehow, he's an incoming freshman, he didn't transfer from anywhere, but anyway. The other 3 were cleared and allowed to wrestle. Jimmy was not cleared. He was declared ineligible and ineligible to compete for all 4 years of high school if he stays at Marion Central. The coach was also suspended for the remainder of the season, I understand. So now the Mastny family, as Mom writes, is trying to figure out what to do. He's doing well at Marion Central academically, so it's a good fit for him academically, which is the most important thing. But he also loves wrestling, and he wants to wrestle at the high school level, which is understandable. And he's got this IHSA decision that's prohibiting him from doing so. Okay, that's the backstory as I understand it. Let's get some more detail and greater understanding from Renee and Jimmy Mastny, who join us now. Mrs. Renee Mastny, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi, thank you for having us.
So did I summarize that accurately?
Yes.
Okay, so with respect to Jimmy's case, is it surrounding allegations of improper recruiting? Is that what they're saying?
Yes, there's allegations of recruiting.
Allegations of recruiting. Okay. And so I guess describe to us what happened with the IHSA, what you say versus what they concluded, I suppose.
So Jimmy lives with friends of ours who I've been friends with since 2017, and we've become very, very close. Well, Stacy is Jordan's mom, and the IHSA feels that would be considered recruitment. However, I don't understand how they can downplay a relationship that I have with somebody and just automatically peg, well, it doesn't look right or feel right, so it must not be right.
Well, wait a second. So, So he lives with friends of yours. The mom is who? The mom the person he lives with is who exactly?
Is the coach's mom.
Oh, he's the coach's mom.
Yes.
Oh, I see. And so they're saying because coach's mom is providing housing, providing a home for Jimmy while he's in school there, that's recruiting and that violates some IHSA rule?
Correct. But, however, she has guardianship with Jimmy.
She's his legal guardian?
Correct.
Well, I mean, if you don't mind me prying,
Right.
Why is that? What is behind that arrangement?
Well, it was Jimmy came to me one day and said he wanted to go to Marion Central Catholic High School, and we reviewed the options of getting an apartment, moving, and During one of our conversations, she just said, "Hey, I've taken legal guardianship over somebody in the past. Um, I would be willing to do so for you."
And what
And
years? Oh,
well, where do you live?
In Oregon, Illinois.
Oh, okay, so is this a situation where to make it feasible for Jimmy to go to Marion Central, he's living with the coach's mom, who you're friends with, so that he can attend school and he just doesn't have a whatever an hour and a half or 2 hour commute.
Correct. Well, I mean, he's living with my friend first, right?
Yeah.
She was my friend first and foremost.
Okay. So you had a friendship with her that predates the decision for Jimmy to go to Marion Central?
Oh yes,
and how long has Jimmy been wrestling?
he's been wrestling since he was 8 years old. That's when he started.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go Dan.
Well, is there I mean, I'm not familiar with the level of detail of IHSA rules on this sort of thing, but what is the rule they're invoking that they say you're in violation of, or Jimmy is?
Well, recruitment, and he's being offered an opportunity that other children aren't offered, which, is not the case.
Was he getting a scholarship to attend the school or some financial aid?
No. Mm-mm.
Well, even if he was, other kids can get scholarships and financial aid too. I mean, and this is a private school. I mean, and so how did you zero in on Marion Central as opposed to a school closer to where you live? And I don't know what the private options are out that way, but yeah, I mean, how did you make the decision on Marion Central?
Jimmy ultimately did. He had done a camp in 2020 with one of the old wrestling coaches, and he, heard about it. People obviously talk about, every school out there. Jimmy did a shadow day back in May, and he said, "This is where I want to go,"
Now,
which in turn is why he's thriving, right?
right.
And
But he's not going to be able to wrestle. What year is Jimmy a freshman?
Yep.
Okay, so if he can't wrestle for the next 4 years, have you had the conversation of maybe going to your local high school in Oregon, Illinois?
But then, I mean, his academics go down, right? So at the end of the day, the choice for him to be at Marion Central is a good choice. He's getting straight A's, and he's being held accountable for his decisions and his grades and things like that. The Catholic school holds these kids to a different standard.
Mm-hmm.
and there's not a choice that's within within proximity to your home that is equivalent, I suppose.
Not in Jimmy's mind. In our minds, my husband and I, gave him different options, and he just didn't want to.
The coach being suspended. So the coach has been suspended for the rest of the year. The IHSA is saying the same thing, that sort of he arranged this, and this is in violation of the spirit, if not the letter, of the rules governing recruitment. Is that why the coach got suspended? Is that what they're saying? IHSA?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Huh. And so, what do you have any idea the allegations against Jimmy and his teammates, where they came from?
There are allegations, but at the end of the day, that it doesn't matter. The IHSA should have been able to say, okay, here we have a freshman going into high school who's never attended another high school.
Right.
It's not.
And is there? I don't know if within this whole saga, if you investigated whether there's similar precedent and different IHSA rulings on an arrangement like this.
I I have not, no.
I mean, because I just know anecdotally about basketball in Chicago in particular of, standouts that wanted to go not to their neighborhood school, but go to a school with an outstanding basketball program, and they stay with an aunt and so on and so forth, and that's been allowed to go on in CPS, as Amy was sort of referencing, for decades. But so I mean, if we can hear from Jimmy. So Jimmy, I mean, where's your mind now with this decision, and what do you think you want to do?
As right now, I think my plan is to stay at Marion for the next 4 years.
So
It's got to be so frustrating for you. I mean, can you even work out with the team? Because I know it's wrestling season right now.
I can work out with the team. I just can't wrestle at duels or tournaments.
Is there are there other alternatives? I'm not as familiar with wrestling. I mean, are there sort of like the AAU version of wrestling? Are there independent or Park District or other wrestling programs that you can participate in, even if you can't wrestle at the under IHSA?
No, not during the winter, but during the summer there is.
So how do you think about this? So I mean, it sounds like basically what your mom was saying. This is such a good fit for you academically, and you enjoy the school and the environment, that you're placing that above your interest in wrestling. Is that fair?
Correct.
And I mean, I guess speak to why you think that, why you feel that way. I mean, what is it about Marion that would have you walk away from sports?
Smaller class sizes. I just feel better in those, and then it's easier to get into college with private school education than public.
Okay. Mom, Renee, is there any appeal that you can make or are going to make of that IHSA decision? I mean, we talked recently with a family from Hinsdale that sued the school district over cutting their kid from the basketball team. Are you pursuing other options here?
Yes, we will.
Such as what? Litigation, or are you going to try and file an injunction, or what do you think?
I think it's still open for discussion.
Okay.
We have to have those discussions.
All right. Renee Mastny, Jimmy Mastny, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck with both your academic and athletic careers in whatever form they take. Jimmy, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Have a great day. Merry Christmas.
You too, and good luck to both of you. And they joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
The Answer.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some great news. From now until January 15th, the health insurance exchanges are open again. And even if you've never qualified for a health insurance